So, guys, Keith Thurman versus Shawn Porter is this weekend. Big clash in the welterweight division. I'm gonna just talk about the tactics ever so slightly and who I think is gonna win. My prediction for this fight. So we'll go with the tactics. I think how they're gonna set up is Porter's gonna, kind of rush through and try and steamroll Keith Thurman. Kind of just have that awkward high output sort of irritating on your chest style. And he'll just try and really frustrate Keith Thurman and put the pressure on, for 36 minutes if it goes that long. I think Porter is what he is. He average boxer. He comes forward and just likes to throw as many punches and just try and let his hands go and really put the opponent in a position where he feels really uncomfortable or he's tired or something like that. We've seen what he's done in the past. He made it very uncomfortable at times for Kell Brook. I still think Kell Brook won that quite handily, by a couple of rounds. But you know, I don't know if I'm not sure if Keith Thurman's going to be able to implement the same tactics as Kell Brook. And for me, that's very very key in this fight. As for as for Keith Thurman, I think is going to box on the back foot, just try and keep Shawn Porter at bay with the jab, and hit him with a combination occasionally to get his respect. And I think that's really the main thing for Keith Thurman. I think Keith Thurman, as I said, I don't think he has the boxing IQ similar to Kell Brook, um, and I don't think he's going to effectively hold. Shawn Porter when he comes in close and makes it a dogfight. So I think two very contrasting styles, very contrasting. For Keith Thurman, you know it's a chance to shine on the big stage. I mean, the last couple of fights, I think, ever since the Bundu fight, he really hasn't. He really hasn't. Carried on his long streak of knockouts, and the one-time moniker is starting to wear thin on many boxing fans. So I think as I said, I think Keith Thurman is very good at what he does, but for me, the problems are in this fight for both men at times, or for one or the other. I'll discuss for Thurman and I'll discuss for Porter. Thurman for me is very very tight at 147. I don't think he can effectively make 154. 147. I think a move up to 154 would be a smart move. I've heard from his management on Boxing Scene this week that he's not planning a move anytime soon, possibly the end of 2017, 2018. So it's a good another year and a half, I'd say, till he possibly moves up to 154, which is a big big mistake. I think this fight he could get really found out. He could have a blemish on his record because he hasn't made the right diet choice, or he's been inactive, which is another big big problem for one time. And I really do fear for Keith Thurman in this fight. I think he is a good boxer at times. He can move. He can utilize his large punch selection, but it's hard with him being inactive for the better part of closer to a year. I think 8 months or something. Don't quote me on that, but for a very very long period of time, let's put it that way. Especially against a top level opponent in your division, and he's had the car accident, I think, and his neck. He's had to do some sort of different training regime because of his neck. So who knows how his neck's gonna hold up in the fight, because this sort of part will be hurting his shoulder, possibly that sort of stuff, and if he gets punched on maybe his shoulder or his arms, he might feel it a bit more. So yeah, I mean Thurman, he's at a disadvantage going into this fight for me, and Porter, has some good momentum with the Adrian Broner fight. I know he hasn't been active either, but I think Porter really, he's really at a level that is going to irritate Thurman, and I wouldn't say I wouldn't say Porter is the best, 147 guy out there. Certainly not. We saw what Brook did to him over in the States, but I mean, it's very very hard to sell this fighter as a number one fighter in the division. I don't think there's an exclusive number one, so to speak, but I do think I do think Brook is number one. I might get some stick for saying that, but based on just talent wise and skill wise, I think he really is the number one, and he's a really really good fighter. Um, you know, as for my prediction, I know a lot of people are going with Thurman, but I'm gonna go with Porter in this fight, and I'm actually gonna go Porter for late stoppage. I can see a points victory as well. I can actually see Thurman knocking him out as well. So I'm very balanced on this, but I'll take a punt and go with Porter on Porter by stoppage. Sorry, late stoppage. I think Thurman's not going to like it to the body. He has a few disadvantages coming into this fight. We've all seen the sparring and that sort of stuff, but I don't think we can take anything from that. And I think, on the big stage, I think Porter is really going to turn up and he's going to make it really, really uncomfortable for Keith Thurman. And he's going to make it an absolute nightmare of a night for one time. And, I think he's going to stop him late or go to points. I'll say late stoppage, but big potential for points. Don't get me wrong. I could get this easily wrong. I've got a fair few wrong in the past, but I do think that Porter has the slight edge, and I just think Keith Thurman's not going to like it to the body. He doesn't have much momentum in his career, and he hasn't really stepped in with that top level sort of guy. I think Robert Guerrero is probably his best win. Luis Calazo is there. Charlie Navarro. Those sort of guys. I mean, Guerrero is probably his best win for me, and yeah, Guerrero's a slight way off from Shawn Porter's level. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think. Who do you think is going to win this fight? How do you think they're going to win this fight? Very intriguing matchup in the welterweight division. Potential. That being said, before I pop off, I do think. Sorry, I would want Keith Thurman to win. I actually do want Thurman to win. I think there's more potential for Thurman to go further in terms of in the division, and there's better matchups. I don't want to see Porter Brook again or Porter Jesse Vargas or those sort of fights. I know Jesse Vargas and Kell Brook are supposed to fight in September over here in the UK in a unification, but I prefer to see Thurman against the other top fighters, not Porter. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles, so to speak. But yeah, as I said, let me know what you guys think. Who do you think is going to win? The method of winning, and yeah, I will talk about the Matchroom and Eddie Hearn card in a separate video. So yeah, I will try and focus on that. I have done a bit of that on Boxing Gossip's channel in the podcast, so please do check that out as well. It's a weekly thing, and it's going really well, and I really enjoy it. Please give the thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Help spread the channel by sharing and subscribing. And yeah, take care, guys. Speak to you soon. Peace.